What is your problem, man?
You're welcome.
What the heck is wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Don't give me that. All right. What's going on here, fellas?
The missile was about to hit the school. I just acted as fast as I could.
That doesn't change the fact that I don't have a car anymore. Who just throws a person's car at a missile?
You're serious?
Yeah. Who's gonna pay for my car?
I guess I could.
Do you even have a real job?
Yes.
Do you have insurance?
I saw the whole thing. Call me.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
Hey, and welcome to a very special episode of Capital City Sports. I'm Meredith Harvey.
And I'm Jonathan Hilliard. Today we celebrate the 20th episode of the show, and we take a look back at some great moments in Capital City sports history.
But first, let's start at the very beginning. Let's take a look at the evolution of the opening, starting with our very first show on September 29th, 2006.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Capital City Sports Talk. Please put your hands together for Matt and Tom.
Later in the show, we'll take you through some of the most exciting highlights in Capital City sports history. But next, we'll take you back to our roots with the Capital City Sports Talk Guys.
He'll be a senator with integrity.
He has my family's future in mind.
He cares about young people.
He's a hard worker.
He's focused.
Effective.
I believe in Old Relish Packet.
We need a condiment with values.
He'll represent us well in Washington, and he is so good looking.
Old Relish Packet and I were trapped 50 miles behind enemy lines. He saved my life.
This message paid for by Citizens for Old Relish Packet.
If you're not voting, then who are you electing?
Thanks for joining us for this week's Carolina edition.
The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw?
Do you have to go number 1 or number 2?
Capital City Sports began in September of 2006 with 2 ambitious radio hosts who wanted to get their show out to a broader audience. Let's take you back in time to Tom Benning, Matt Moore, and Capital City Sports Talk.
Welcome back to Capital City Sports Talk. I'm Matt Moore.
I'm Tom Benning.
And we're here with Alex Riley, sports editor of the Gamecock, and Jonathan Hilliard, producer of SGTV's Capital City Sports Talk. It's 5:40. We've got 20 minutes left. Coming up next, we've got Bunny Beats Blenderbox and another great music show, which we are also preceded by with Greg. But it's woodshed time, fellas.
I'm taking Shaq to the woodshed and the Heat as a whole, but mainly Shaq, for whining and complaining about the new basketballs that the NBA is using this season. This is Shaq's quote saying, "I think the new ball is terrible. It's the worst decision some expert, whoever did it, made. The NBA has been around how long? 100 years? 50 years? So change it now. Whoever that person is needs his college degree revoked. It's a terrible decision." First of all, Shaq's college degree is from, or his MBA is from University of Phoenix, which I took to the woodshed last week. So don't even talk to me about getting your college degree revoked. And he doesn't even know how long the NBA has been around, and he's complaining about the ball. Let's think about this. This computer screen right here, I don't know if anybody on TV can see it, but think about, your average, what is this, like a 20-inch? No, not even that.
Like 17.
17-inch. That's about the size of Shaq's hand. Does it matter what kind of ball he is putting in that hand? His hand eats the ball every time he touches it, and then he just dunks it, so it's not like he even touches it that long.
Now, Tom,
he has... In his defense,
you finish and let me know when you're done.
He has Michael Doliak backing him up. Are you serious? When does Michael Doliak play to even concern himself
D-Wade's
with how...
got his back, too.
I don't even care what D-Wade says.
And I don't care what you say.
D-Wade already is having to adjust to... He's played with 4 different types of balls because he's been on the Olympic team, the FIBA World Championships, and so he shouldn't even have to worry about that. But, Shaq, don't come cry to me, halfway through the season when your numbers are down again and say, oh, it's the new ball. No, it's just that you're getting old, and that's pretty much all I have to say.
I just have a few questions for you, and you don't have to rant and rave. This is not really what the woodshed's about. It's an argument, okay? Let's be civil. First question. How how many times has the NBA changed its balls?
What a great moment in radio history.
How many times?
Somebody call
I
somebody.
would probably say this is, I don't know, second, third.
This is the second time.
Okay.
The first time it was after 5 years when they were using a ball that didn't bounce properly. Okay?
Because it used to have laces on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not in the NBA. Not
it's college.
Yeah,
ball.
see, what is Shaq complaining about?
No,
If he wants to go old school,
It's my turn.
why doesn't he go back to what
It's my
James
turn.
Springfield had and
Because those
use the
balls
peach
didn't bounce
basket?
at all.
I'm just saying.
They didn't dribble. Shaq shouldn't dribble, by the way.
That's
But
true.
anyway, okay. They've changed it twice. First time, completely practical reasons, which brings me to my second question. Why change the ball?
Because players complained about it.
Who was complaining?
A number of players in the league complained about it. How the ball would wear incredibly quick, and so you didn't know if you're getting a new ball or an old ball. And so some games it would be fresh and that'd be great, but some games it'd be like the fifth time that ball had been used. And so that's why they complained about it, and that's why the change was made. The change was made from a player's recommendations to the league.
Okay. Anyway, new ball. Did you kind of cut Shaq's quote off? He said,
That's
and
where
this
it ended.
And this is where it kept going in USA Today. This is where Dwayne Wade agreed with him, is that when the ball gets wet, like if your hands are sweaty, then it goes all over the place. Like, granted, Shaq's hands are huge.
Granted, Shaq sweats more than anybody I've ever seen in my
Exactly.
life. So even with the leather
Because
ball,
he's working hard.
Even
Big
with
man's working hard.
Even with the
He's gonna
leather ball,
sweat.
he's gonna saturate it.
No, the leather would soak it up and not be all sliding around. He said it's just like, he and Dwayne Wade both said it's just like playing with an indoor-outdoor ball. And we know what that's like. It's like playing with a piece of rubber.
Yeah, and Shaq said, and I quote, "It's like playing with one of those indoor-outdoor balls you buy from the toy store." That's exactly what he said.
Which is exactly what he means. Like, that's like going to Walmart and buying a off-brand basketball, which is great when you're playing out on the spur next to Woodrow, but really sucks if you're on a court and you're in the NBA. Have you seen what the thing looks like?
I haven't.
It is ugly. It doesn't even look like a basketball anymore.
What's different about it?
No, it's completely like the shape, like the shape of the patterns on it are completely like the laces or the
little lines or
yeah,
whatever.
the lines are completely different. Which, by the way, is probably going to piss some shooters off, because I know, at least from like my playing experience, like when I shoot free throws and stuff, I hold the laces the same way. I hold the lines, because it does, like, holding it different ways changes your shot a little bit. And, like, you get used to something. So, I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me why you need to change the ball. I guess if players are saying that the wear on it is one thing, but fix that, but don't, like, why does the ball got to look different? That's stupid.
How many other sport leagues have adapted new things, though? Like football has adapted new helmets or pads, or I know back in the 70s used to put metal braces actually in your arm, and when you were a defensive lineman, you could come around and whack a guy in the helmet, leave his ears ringing for 3 hours. Those don't exist anymore. How many times has baseball changed, how much tar you can put on bat, what kind of cleats you can use, what the helmet style is. The thing about basketball is the only thing that's changed in its entire, creation are the length of the shorts. And that's about it. The shorts have got longer, and the
24-second clock.
And
those are and you can't tell me that no one wasn't complaining when those changes were made.
Right, but
I don't know if they were complaining about the three-point arc, but what you're looking at now
the
is
big men were.
Well, of course, the big men are always going to complain, though.
Like Shaq.
Okay, and what my third point is.
Let Riley finish it.
But what you're looking at is there hasn't been any major adjustments made in the NBA in the past, 20, 25 years. The three-point line has been in for a little while. The shot clock's been in for a good little bit of time. So there's nothing major been changed. So if they're changing up the style of the ball for a reason because players are complaining about it, then guess what? Just like everything else that's changed over the next couple of years or the last couple of years, you're going to adopt to it. You're going to adapt to it. It's going to, after 2 or 3 games, it's not going to be an issue anymore. Once he gets into practice and summer camp and gets used to handling, this new basketball, everything will be fine. It's no big deal.
A real champion would just rise up and be like, It doesn't matter what.
Let's not talk about real champions.
I'll play
Tom,
with
because the man is a real
it's like
champion.
it's like the time
How many
management clock in the NCAA right now.
How many rings does he have?
How many times have we thought about it in the last week? When we started the season and nobody knew how it was going to work, everybody was like, "Oh man, running out of time. Timeouts are being wasted and we're getting penalties and stuff." Now all of a sudden it's just like, it's just part of the game. And then next year it'll become even more part of the game and more. And eventually nobody will even remember how we used to do it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say, I know what you're saying. Like, you get used to what you're given. But first off, or I guess fourth off, I've made so many points I don't even know what to do with myself. How are you going to call out a guy like Shaq for his statistical drop-off when, the Heat, they did win the national or the NBA, the World Championship. How many rings does he have? How many? Jonathan's holding up 4? I'm thinking 4. Yeah. So let's not talk about stats or things like that. Let's talk about championships. And when the Heat repeat, that's all I got to say.
Let's think about
even with the crappy ball.
What would have the Heat done without D Wade? If it was just Shaq, do you think
what would the Bulls have done without Pippen
or Jordan?
No, but I'm just saying that you can't say that Shaq was the I don't think Shaq was the reason why the Heat won. I think D Wade was the reason. His
do you
maturation.
think the Heat win the national or the World Championship without Shaq? There's no way.
I think the reason the Heat won.
Do you think the Lakers win the championship without Shaq?
With just Kobe? Look at that.
That was with the Lakers. Shaq was the most dominant player in the league at that point. You cannot even come close to saying that right now.
Well,
how many points he had?
Who can stop?
He had
Shaq?
under 10 points in one game. Shaq stops himself. He's
Exactly.
getting old.
So that he's
Yes, he
still
is.
dominant because no one can stop him but
That
himself.
is not true.
And that's the simple case for any
If
dominant
no one can
player.
stop him, why can't he score 30 a game anymore?
Because he doesn't have to. They won the World
'cause
Championship.
No, he can't. And so D Wade took it on his shoulders, and that's why the Heat won the
But
World Championship.
if you're making that argument, then you're making the argument that they don't win the World Champion, or that they do win the World Championship if Shaq's still
No, I'm not
somewhere
saying
else.
that if you take the team apart, that it changes, that it wouldn't, like, if you took Shaq off the team, that they would win. I'm just saying that, by and large, the reason that the Heat won is because D Wade took them on their back.
I'll agree with. But
Let's
you
not
can't say
say-
that Shaq is not still. He may not be the most dominant player.
That's what I'm saying. That his statistics are on decline because he's getting old. That happens to people. It happened to Michael Jordan. He got old and he wasn't good with the Wizards. Okay, it happens. It's a fact of life. Shaq is not going to play forever. He's not going to score 30 a game forever. He might not even score 20 a game forever.
True.
Okay, I agree with you that as players age, they get older. Or as players age, they get their
That
stats
was the
go
deduction
down.
of the day.
Right.
Shut up.
Unless you're Barry Bonds.
But now listen, put another center on that team and tell me that the Heat win the national or the World Championship.
You're struggling with
Shut up.
We're a college radio station. We
That's
like saying
true.
national.
We
championship.
don't relate to professional sports.
Tell me
as
that,
well.
and it's not even a world championship. It is a national championship. I
Yeah.
guess you could say it's a continental championship because of the freaking Raptors. But no, tell me that the Heat win with any other center.
But I'm saying the reason they won this year was the maturation of D Wade. Why didn't they win when Shaq first signed up?
Because I'll give you the fact that Dwayne.
That's
Wade,
all I was saying.
No, we'll give you the fact they won it because
That's all
D
I'm
Wade
saying.
came around.
I didn't say Shaq wasn't an integral part of that team.
They went from the year before Shaq came, they lost in the first round of the playoffs. The next year, they lost in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, Tom. You can't tell me
Okay.
that he doesn't make all the difference on that team because without
He
him,
certainly makes them better.
him, they lock on D Wade, and that's the only thing they have to worry about. You can tell me Alonzo Mourning is going to take the heat off of D Wade?
I could argue with the fact that nobody can really lock on Dwayne Wade.
Well, I mean,
because-
if you got 2 or 3 guys shadowing him, though, I mean, he's a good basketball player, but he's not going to beat a double or a triple team. And you can't
he
do
did
that
against the Mavericks.
But you still have to worry about Shaq. I mean, he wasn't beating triple teams on a consistent basis.
He was getting beat by Desangana Diop. That's what was happening.
Jop, by the way.
Whatever.
It's pronounced Jop.
He shouldn't even be brought up in any sort of sports conversation.
All I'm saying is that the Heat don't even make the finals if Shaq's not on that team.
I'm not denying that Shaq was huge and incredibly important to the Heat's World Championship, but the reason they made the jump to World Championship was because D Wade got a lot better.
We did take Shaq to the woodshed because of the ball, right?
Yeah.
All right. I was just making sure. I'm just saying.
Get over the ball. That was the point of mine. Woodshed.
I agree. Get over the ball.
Okay, I can say get over the ball to Shaq, but Shaq's still a dominant force because there's no center in the NBA that can stop him.
I just told you that.
Anything?
He struggled against the Mavericks. He was stopped in some of those games.
There is no center that could replace Shaq for any
Are you going to
team.
say that he wasn't stopped in some of those games in the finals?
In some of the games he was, but not by another team.
He was
Shaq-
stopped by the other centers. By Eric Dampier.
Shaq was no.
Yes.
No. Shaq was stopped because, like you said, he's getting older.
No,
Shaq was stopped by himself.
Straight up, he was shut down by Eric Dampier and Diop.
And if we're gonna talk about logistics and things like that, he was probably stopped a lot by the fact that he had 2 fouls going out of the first quarter in almost every game in the playoffs. Like, Pat Riley kept his butt on the bench for most of every first half. Like, he never played in a second quarter. I don't know. I'm just saying. Wade got fouled a lot, too. I don't know.
The fact that we've been talking about the NBA on this show for 12 minutes is ridiculous.
No, I'm liking it. It's time.
Variety's the spice of life.
It's time for
There you go.
basketball. I was
We've
really,
already had this
especially
discussion.
after the Wofford game, it was definitely time for some basketball.
And after the Auburn game, it was definitely time to continue some football.
That's
Trust
a
me
good
on that.
point. Man, clock just hit 6 o'clock. You've been listening to
Consider it
Capital
done.
City Sports Talk. I'm Matt Moore.
I'm Tom Benning.
We've got
I'm Alex Riley, just saying goodnight.
Later on, we'll show you all the moments behind the scenes that were too raw or too ridiculous for television. But up next, we'll recap some of the best interviews in Capital City sports history. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Alone and crying, boom, boom, bam. Crying, pam, pam, pam. Crying, chaka, chaka, cha. Crying is always good.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here we go.
Today, the world we live in is fast-paced and ever-changing. We need a senator who will lead us into the future. We need courage. We need integrity. We need someone who won't walk away from trouble. We need Bag of Leaves. Cast your vote to elect Bag of Leaves in the midterm elections.
If you're not voting, then who are you electing?
Hey! What is your problem, man? All right, what's going on here, fellas?
The missile was about to hit the school.
That doesn't change the fact that I don't have a car anymore. Who just throws a person's car at a missile?
You're serious?
Yeah, who's gonna pay for my car?
In just 7 months, Capital City Sports has brought you interviews with some of Columbia's brightest stars. Next, we'll reminisce with some of your favorite coaches and athletes.
Coach, thanks for joining us, first of all.
You're very welcome. Very glad to be here.
Coach, just talk about, can you tell the guys are starting to get excited, a little anxious to get cranking here?
Well, I really can. October the 15th typically has been the kind of the tip-off. The curtain kind of rises on basketball season. This year's a little bit sooner, but we always enjoy the beginning of basketball season. Your team begins to take shape, and the personalities of the new players, you begin to enjoy them, get to know them a little bit, and seeing your team play together. And I always enjoy the veterans, seeing how much improvement they've made from a year hence, and when I look at a guy like Trey Kelly or Brandon Wallace, I say there's a lot to get excited about for this year's team. And you take a look at a new guy like Dominique Archie, and who redshirted last year, and Dwayne Day, who I think is much improved, and Brandon Wallace and Brandis Rayleigh, new player, and Bryce Sheldon. There's a lot of good talent there, and a lot of good young players that I think together have a chance to have a very successful season.
Coach, you already mentioned him. Talk about when people think about Gamecock basketball this year, they look no farther to start with than Trey Kelly. You've obviously been very impressed with Trey. Just talk about what you think he can bring as a senior to this team.
Well, one of the fun things about coaching, as many years as I have, is you appreciate more than just the game. And Trey brings so much to the table, or to our team in this case. He is a great young man. He's a hard worker. He's a great leader. But on top of that, he's a growing and proven basketball player. I mean, he's not afraid. I've often said that one of the great attributes that any player can have is a lack of fear, and he's a fearless kind of player. So highly skilled, can score, defend. I mean, he's complete.
Obviously, basketball is a team sport, and while you've got Trey Kelly and Brandon Wallace as some guys that have proven themselves on the court, how do you think they are gelling as far as coming together as a team so far?
I think doing nicely at this stage. We've got a lot of work to do in that area and other areas, but I think Brandon and Trey are smart enough to know that they're confident in their own abilities, but by the same token, they know they need the help of their teammates. And I continue to encourage them to seek help from their teammates, to allow their teammates to help them. But at the same time, I say to their teammates, the younger guys in particular, look at these older guys. Look at Brandon. Look at Trey. Do what they do. Do it the way they do it. That's the correct way. That's the winning way.
Coach, good luck this season.
Thank you. Look forward to working with you.
Back to you guys. You've had this idea for a couple of years now in your head. What's it like to finally get to see something on paper?
Well, it's very exciting. I mean, we're moving forward now, and just a little bit over a year, we'll be playing in one of the finest facilities in the country, and it's great for our fans, for our players, the city of Columbia. So we're ecstatic.
There was kind of some back and forth as to where the location was going to be. What do you think out of the final location there?
Well, you always hear that good things are worth waiting for, and this site took a little time to get there, but it is the best. Dr. Sorensen played a major role in that, and you couldn't pick a better site. We're down by the river. There's going to be so much energy there, so it's a home run, no doubt.
Athletic Director Hyman said that max capacity, it would be about 8,100 for a big weekend series. You guys have had a little bit of problem packing everybody in for a series like an LSU, like a Florida. What's it like to have that at your disposal here in the future?
Well, that's going to be great. And 8,100 is a realistic number that could be somewhat comfortable. But I can envision maybe 10,000. The concourse wraps around the entire stadium, so we can pack them in everywhere. And so my goal is to go in excess of 10,000 on a few occasions.
Reese Havens says you guys can keep that victory tower lit pretty consistently. How do you feel about the team coming up?
He's a guy between the lines, so you got to defer to those guys. But we got a good group of players here, and Reese being a junior next year, along with some other guys that could be drafted, I'm really anxious to give them an opportunity to play in a new stadium before they leave the University of South Carolina.
How much benefit does this give you in recruiting? Now, not to just be able to say, hey, the new stadium's coming, but be able to show them this on paper and say, hey, it's just a year away.
Well, that makes a difference. There's no question about it. We've been working off schematic drawings for a couple of years now, but to be able to take them down to the stadium and then the press box and then the coaches' offices that overlook the field, and the weight room, the batting cages, our amenities are going to be second to none. So is it the reason that student athletes make a decision to come to your school? Not entirely, but it does play a major role.
Coach, you've got another #1 recruiting class coming in this year. How do you feel about the way the team has just kind of been getting involved in school here and looking forward to the spring?
They've done a good job. They've shown a lot of maturity in fall practice. I think we're going to end up with a good semester academically, and we've improved as a team. And I think these guys understand what our mission is on the field between the lines, and we're going out in the spring and try to to show people that we do have a great recruiting class and be one of the teams left standing at the end of the year.
Coach,
thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We're here with senior point guard Trey Kelly. Man, it seems like just yesterday, freshman coming in, backing up Mike Boynton. How's it feel to be a big man on campus now?
I don't know if I'm the big man on campus yet. I done did some things here that everybody done made me cry. Everybody's been proud of, but it feels good to be the starting point guard and be able to lead these guys, to victories, two straight NLT championships. I feel good about that as being the starting point guard on both of those teams. But we still have some work to do. We still have to come in and work hard like we're doing today. Practice hasn't started yet, so we're gonna get ready. Come next Saturday when we wake up at 6 in the morning for that first practice.
So just talk about a little bit what kind of benefit you guys are getting out of coming out of here. I guess it's once a week out here, 6 a.m. and busting your butts out there on this field. What kind of stuff you guys getting out of this?
The obvious thing is the leg strength. We're working very hard, walking up the steps, we're carrying a lot of weight on our backs while we're walking, and that builds up a lot of leg strength. But on the other hand, it's a lot of toughness being built up, within these guys. New guys have never been through this. Even I've never been through this, but I know what it feels like to come in and do NCAA basketball college work, as far as in the weight room, conditioning and stuff like that. So it builds up a lot of toughness, and you have to compete with yourself, when you're out here, because, when you're getting tired, your legs getting tired, you have to keep pushing.
You guys look like you're building up a pretty good rapport with the new guys out here, trying to, get in the trenches a little bit and just make them feel welcome.
Definitely, we have to, because, if they come in and they don't feel welcome, they won't work as hard. When they come in and, we welcome them on and, encourage them a lot, encourage them as much as we can, and, to help them focus, that helps them. It helps them learn, when we teach these young guys when they don't know, that gives them encouragement because we're helping them learn, and they learn it from older guys that have been here.
I got to ask you, Trey, why'd you have to go abusing Brandis on the tug of war like that?
He got me the first week. They said he got me the first week. I didn't think he did, but I got him the second week, and I had to come back strong today for the last one and let him know who's here.
All right, man. Prediction. What are you guys looking like this season? How you feel about it?
I'm gonna lead these guys to an NCAA tournament appearance. That's what I want to do, and that's my goal for this year. Whether we, I don't know what we'll do during the season and things like that, but we'll work hard. Every game, and I make sure I do that. I make sure I lead these guys so they work hard every game and every practice so we get to the NCAA tournament because, that's my goal. I don't want to NIT championship. There's no more winning to do up in New York. So you have to find us an NCAA appearance somewhere.
Trey, appreciate it.
No problem.
Back to you guys.
Well, this is certainly an exciting day for me. Arthur said it's an exciting day for the Falcons, but when you start in this profession, you look ahead and you set your goals. You want to become a head football coach in the NFL. And I not only have attained that, but what makes it so exciting to me is, as I said yesterday, is I think that this is the best job in the NFL. And I'm very proud to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. It's an exciting time for my family. It's kind of a whirlwind because everything happened very quickly. But we can't wait to get down here and get going. I truly believe that I'm totally prepared for the job. I'm really looking forward to the challenges, the day-to-day challenges, and the process that you go through in being a head football coach in the National Football League. I understand the expectations. I know that the reason I'm here is because Arthur Blank and Rich McKay want to win the Super Bowl. And that's something that really impressed me when I spoke to them, the passion that they had to do that, the passion they have for the players that are here. And then when you get here today and you see the commitment and the facilities, you understand that everything is set and that those are the expectations. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I also would like to thank Mr. Blank for bringing me here. I had a great opportunity to visit with them and was very impressed. I really like the way that he deals with his ownership, the way he deals with the football team, and very much looking forward to that. Rich McKay has been known as one of the best personnel men throughout this business for a long time. I've known of Rich. A long time ago when I was working for the Jaguars, he was at Tampa Bay. A number of my closest friends worked at Tampa, and he has the reputation as being the best in the National Football League, so that is very exciting for me. I would also like to look back at Louisville and thank everybody at Louisville for everything there. It was a great run. We had 4 tremendous years. The fans were awesome. Tom Jurich and President Ramsey gave us everything that we needed there to be successful. And it was certainly a tough decision to leave in one aspect because of the relationships you make with the players, the relationships you make with the fans. But on the other aspect, when you saw the opportunity here and the ability here to reach that ultimate dream of being a Super Bowl champion, it was not a hard decision. So it kind of went back and forth. But I'm looking forward to getting started with the players as soon as they get their time off and get back here. I think offensively, you know, our philosophy is going to be very aggressive. I've been able to work with quarterbacks and receivers and running backs and guys that can make plays, and I know that there's that core ability here. And we're going to go out and move the football and be very aggressive in doing that. Defensively, I think one of my critical hires will be our defensive coordinator. There's no question about that. And obviously you can't talk a lot about the hiring process at this time, but it's certainly going to be very important to me. I want to be able to play the game very aggressive, be able to come after the quarterback. Obviously, you know, you have to stop the run first. But can't wait to get started with our football team. And I'm very happy to be here, and we'll just take questions now.
Hopefully, whatever bad things happen to South Carolina football may be erased today. I sort of think back my first year at Florida when we won a game at Alabama, and we didn't play very well, but ended up winning 17-13, and that was a big turnaround game for Florida because they hadn't done all that much in prior years. So sometimes a game like this can do it, but time will tell if this is one we can look back on, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now and say that was a turnaround game. Time will tell.
Ever wonder how many shots it takes to finally get it right? We'll bring you the Capital City Sports blooper reel later in the show. But next, we'll show you some of the more memorable moments of the year in our Highlight Rewind segment. All that and more after the break.
It was not. It was like...
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Frozen Peas, respected member of our community for years, determined to always do just the right thing, committed to support the growth of our children, and effective at lowering bad cholesterol. Frozen Peas, courage, integrity, fresh ideas. This message paid for by the Friends of Frozen Peas.
If you're not voting, then who are you electing?
wished you could see highlights from that great game one last time? Well, now you can as we bring you back in time for the Capital City Sports Highlight Rewind. It's been a while since the Gamecocks have beat their arch rival from Clemson. Could the Gamecocks finally break through this weekend and beat the Tigers in Death Valley? Capital City Sports was on the scene. The Gamecocks coming into Death Valley with a 6-5 record. Coach Steve Spurrier in his second game against the Tigers, who come in at 8-3. First drive, it's Blake Mitchell looking over the middle to his favorite target, Sidney Rice, who's in Clemson territory. The Gamecock offense was hot all day long. But it's Mitchell later in the drive, underthrowing Sidney Rice into the arms of C.J. Gaddis. By the way, he plays for Clemson. The Tigers take over. In the first quarter, it's Will Proctor. He's going to roll out to his right on this play. Looking deep, pump fake. He's going deep. Fred Bennett, cornerback, falls down into the arms of Jacoby Ford. He cuts back and off to the races we go. Jacoby Ford, a track champion in high school, gets the Tigers on the board early at 7-0 Clemson. Will Proctor's pretty excited, by the way. But can the Gamecocks rebound and come back? It's Corey Boyd up the middle. The running game was working as well as the passing game for the Gamecocks. He's got a first down. Now it's Mitchell looking for Sidney. First down Gamecocks. The Clemson defense just could not find a way to stop the Gamecock offense. Sidney with the first down. Now it's Blake Mitchell leaning over the goal line on 3rd and goal. He's got the touchdown. The game is tied, but it's C.J. Spiller. One move, and he is gone. C.J. Spiller goes 82 yards for the touchdown, and the Clemson Tigers take a 14-7 lead. Spiller, another track champion in high school, taking another look at it. One juke to the middle, and the safeties cannot catch up to Spiller. He will go all the way for the touchdown. And despite being outplayed in the first quarter, Clemson has a 14-7 lead. But it's USC coming right back. Blake Mitchell to Noah Whiteside, and he's got some room down the sideline to the Gamecock 40-yard line. USC moving the ball again. Now, Mike Davis getting his turn at running the ball. Corey Boyd and Mike Davis combined for over 180 yards on the day. And now it's Corey Boyd again. Up the middle, touchdown for the Gamecocks, and they answer the Tigers again. 14-14 now, late in the second quarter. Blake Mitchell looking. He hits Kenny McKinley over the middle. He spread the ball out beautifully on Saturday. Now it's Mitchell. The ball is batted, and Jock McKissick, the defensive tackle for Clemson. He's got the ball, and he is trucking down the field. Kenny McKinley trying to catch him. He will not. That's a touchdown for Clemson. And despite being thoroughly outgained in the first half, the Clemson Tigers are going to take a one-touchdown lead. That flag would be on the Gamecocks. Take another look at it. Gaines Adams, the all-world defensive end for Clemson, with the deflection. McKissick recovers the ball in the air and takes it all the way to the house for the touchdown. And the Gamecocks, despite playing great in the first half, are down by a touchdown. But second half, 4th and 2, Blake Mitchell's pass is batted down by true freshman Ricky Sapp, and Clemson gets the ball back, and it's C.J. Spiller to the outside, and they're not going to catch him. He goes in. Clemson Tigers have a 2-touchdown lead, and that just might be it for the Gamecocks midway through the third quarter. But no, Blake Mitchell back for the Gamecocks. Hits Sidney Rice on the sideline. First down Carolina, 20-yard line. Mitchell again with the play action. Now the dump in the flat to Mike Davis, and he will rumble down to the 2-yard line. The very next play, it's Davis again, and he is untouched into the end zone. The Gamecocks are right back in it, just a touchdown down midway through the third quarter. Clemson, the second play of their next drive, out to the tight end, and Emmanuel Cook puts the lick on. The ball is loose and is recovered by Jordan Lindsay. The Gamecocks get the ball back. Now it's Tommy Beecher in for injured Blake Mitchell.
who just had the wind knocked out of him, it turns out. But he finds Kenny McKinley on the sideline, and he is juking to the other side of the field, and he's got room all the way inside the Clemson Tiger 10-yard line. But out trots Blake Mitchell back on the field to relief for the Gamecocks. He gives it to Mike Davis. Up the middle, he goes skydiving. Touchdown, Gamecocks. Mike Davis with his second touchdown of the afternoon, and the game is tied. Let's take another look at it. Davis cuts back inside with a leap, holds his balance into the end zone for the Gamecocks. Game tied, and it's still only the third quarter, but Will Proctor picked off by Nathan Pepper, and he is rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and fumbling. Fumbles through the end zone. James Davis strips Nathan Pepper, and he cannot believe it. Takes away a touchdown from the Gamecocks and gives the Tigers the ball back at the 20-yard line. You see the replay here. Davis comes up from behind Pepper, knocks the ball out. Ball goes through the end zone for the touchback. But the Gamecocks were able to hold and got the ball back. Now it's Mitchell to Rice down the sideline for 13 yards. They would convert that into a first down. Mitchell again, this time it's Corey Boyd up the middle. He's got about 19 yards on the play, and the Gamecocks are in Clemson territory. Now, Mitchell, was that a backwards pass? It's batted back. Clemson recovers. It looks like the Gamecocks will give it away again, and Clemson has the ball, but Coach Spurrier says, excuse me, Mr. Official, I believe that was forward pass. What do you think? Take another look at that one right there. And they do take another look at it, and indeed it is a forward pass, and the Gamecocks will get the ball back, and this time it's Ryan Suckup from 35 yards, and Ryan Suckup is money. 31-28. Suckup comes through for the Gamecocks. Could they hold on to the lead? They haven't been able to do it all year against a big-time opponent. Could this finally be the game against the rival? But it's Reggie Merriweather for Clemson on the ensuing drive. He's got a first down. Now it's C.J. Spiller. Clemson is stacked at running back. C.J. flying down the field for 24 yards. They've got another first down, but first and 10, James Davis. Nothing. Second and 10, James Davis. Even less. The Gamecock defense looking for that big stop, and now it's third down, and Jasper Brinkley gets a hold of Will Proctor along with Savell Newton, and that's going to set up what would be a game-tying field goal for Clemson. The Gamecock defense coming up big in the red zone with Jasper Brinkley. And as you can tell, Corey Boyd, he's a little nervous. Not wanting to watch, and it's Jad Dean, who has been so good for Clemson over the last few years. It is wide left, and let the party begin for the Gamecocks. Jad Dean, he's a little upset at this point. Coach Spurrier loving it, egging on the fans, and the Gamecocks storm the field in Death Valley. A huge win for this program. Spurrier thanked the fans after the game, saying he was giving them a game ball, and the players partying in Death Valley.
I don't know that I've ever coached two guys who have given more and asked less than Brandon Wallace and Trey Kelly.
Senior from Jackson, South Carolina, number 33, and the guard, a senior from Washington, D.C., number 1,
Like I said many times, he's like a brother to me. You know, we kind of think on the same plane. I don't know how many assists he got in his career assists. I'm sure at least a third of them were to me.
It means a lot to me. That guy's a great friend. It's a friendship that definitely will last throughout our lives. It's definitely a person that will always be in my heart forever.
He is player of the year in this league. Period. No conversation.
Two only postseason championships that the program has ever had. I'm proud and I'm very glad to be a part of that.
Their contribution to Gamecock basketball will go on forever.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Carolina edition.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
So how much work does it really take to put on a 1-hour television show every week? As you'll see in this next segment, it's no easy task, but no job at Capital City Sports comes without a few laughs. Hey, and welcome to, I'm sorry, it's wind.
Hi.
Hey, I'm your host, Meredith Harvey.
And I'm Jonathan Hilliard. Today we celebrate the 20th episode of this episode. Just go with it. Just go with it.
Just go with it?
Just go with it.
I'm not going with it.
See what I have to put up with every week. In 3.
No, you see, 3-2 doesn't work when the wind is still blowing and it's still in my face.
Yeah, it's psyching you out because it's blowing in the trees. It's not actually blowing here.
But it's blowing my hair like this. So we have issues still. It's not psyching me out. I don't move my hair with my mind.
Just whenever you're ready. I'm good. That's all for this week's show. Tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on SGTV. I'm John Hilliard.
Over to Capital City Sports' own Jonathan Hilliard for a look in the pitch.
I should have just stopped. Since then, they have... Dang it!
Signing day has come and gone, and the game cokes.
The game kooks. For all the latest national, local, and USC sports coverage, don't miss Capital City Sports.
Only on Thursdays on SG. Only on Thursdays. No, it's not. It's all weekend.
Relay with the men in the boardroom in the steam room for a special edition of the boardroom.
The Capital City Sports boardroom will be on later on and stuff. It's about some Russian. This is...
Yeah, I think it's about time. I mean, if you look at the team, the offensive powers they have, and the
Look over there! Capital City Sports. All right, let's go ahead and start off with, of course, the most
Let's start out with the most prevalent.
Bob, don't bother me. Welcome to the Capital City Sports Boardroom. I'm Alex Riley, chairman of the board this week. With me, Michael Aguilar, staff writer of the Daily Gamecock. Glad to be here, Aguilar.
Glad to be here as well, Riley.
Sorry,
What was that? What am I supposed to say that?
Dude, I'm so tired.
Glad to be here, Aguilar. All right, keep me posted.
I know, but I can't see, and the wind is blowing, and my eyes hurt. I'm Meredith Harvey.
And I'm Jonathan Hilliard, and it's cold outside Columbia, so cuddle up to a buddy. I'm Jonathan Hilliard.
And I'm Meredith Harvey. Make sure to wear SPF 15, Columbia. You come stand here and burn your corneas, okay? Because it's not pleasant.
I'm putting you come stand here and burn your corneas. I'm Jonathan Hilliard.
And I'm Meredith Harvey. Lean back, Columbia.
2.
Sorry, I'm starting.
Look at it, it's the men of Capital City Sports Talk. I can't believe it. I'm Jonathan Hilliard.
And I'm Meredith Harvey. Keep it sunny side up, Columbia.
Capital City Sports, I'm Jonathan Hilliard, and I suck.
Have a great break.
Oh.
Good to hear.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. We hope you've enjoyed this very special edition of Capital City Sports.
It's been a great first season, but don't worry, there's still more to come. Keep tuning in every Thursday at 8, only on SGTV. I'm Meredith Harvey.
And I'm Jonathan Hilliard. Thanks again, Columbia.
What? All right. What's the joke? What's so funny?